Hey everybody, back for the third and final part of Trig. One part that sometimes people have a little trouble with. Um, and then at the end it's all trying to put it together. But we're going to find the values of the angles now, okay? Before we do that, just a quick refresher. The first three questions, what are we going to do here? Well, we're going to type that into a calculator. So if I want cosine, I might move this over so we can see it. So, let's minimize that. If I want to get cosine of 36 on this calculator, I'm going to type 36 and then hit cosine. Okay, so the answer is 0.80. We'll put 3 decimals in this case, so 0.809. Okay, again on the other calculator, if I go to do this problem here, the next one, sine of 18, I'm going to hit sine first and then 18 and then hit enter and get 0.309. Okay. All right. So if you did all three of these, tangent of 78, same thing. You're going to type that one in. I'll do it here. So you're going to hit 78 and then you're going to hit tangent. And of course, that's 4.705. Okay, so now what we're going to do is the opposite on this. It says now the opposite. What do I mean by the opposite? Well, I'm going to give you this stuff over here, but not this. You have to find it. Okay, so it's the opposite. So that's what you see here. Tangent of blank equals 2.4751. All right, so how are we going to do that? We're not going to just sit here and try random degrees until we get something close. There is something on the calculator called the inverse, or sine, tangent, and cosine to the -1. So what you're going to type in the calculator to find this answer is you're going to do that thing right there. Now there's two ways, calculator-wise, depending on these two calculators, what will happen. So let's look at the easier one, which is the TI-84s. So you're actually going to type that in. Well, how do you get those things? If you look real closely above sine, cosine, and tangent in blue, you'll see sine to the -1, cosine to the -1, tangent to -1. We get those by hitting the second. And actually, I'm going to clear this all out. So we're going to hit second and then tangent. And you see you get tan to the -1. And then we type in 2.4751. Okay, now what this answer is going to give you is the degrees. In this case, 68.00. We're just going to round that to 68 degrees for our answer. Okay, now let's look on this one. And again, every calculator is a little different. On this one, I'm going to type in 2.4751. Now, if I go up here to trig, you'll notice there's a little second. If I hit that second right now, look what happens. They change, all of them change to -1s. So I want a tangent of -1. And if you look closely up here at the top, you can see tan of -1 of 2.475. And look what we get, the exact same answer. Okay, so it depends on your calculator, what we're doing here and how we get that answer. All right, but that's it. The one different thing here compared to the previous is every time we're doing the same thing. It's just a matter of picking the right trig. So we're going to do the same thing here. On the calculator, to get your answer, you're going to do sine of -1 of 0.1045. Type in all of that number. Okay? And then this one, we're going to go tan of -1 of 0.8098. And then this one is cosine, -1 of 0.9659. Okay? Again, depending on your calculator, how you're going to do it, but I'm going to use this one. So 0.1045, go to trig up here, second, and hit sine. Get 5.998. If I was rounding to the nearest tenth, that actually would round to 6.0 degrees. Okay, I think all of these I chose, they do come out to pretty darn close to a whole degree. They don't always. What's the next one? 0.8098. Second. Tangent. 39, a bunch of zeros, so we're going to just say 39 degrees. And finally, the last one, 0.9659. Second cosine, and we get 15 degrees. Okay? All right, so we're going to use this. We're going to do, it's going to be a little less button pushing because I'm not going to have decimals here. I'm going to have fractions. I'll show you what I mean here, okay? A little bit easier. All right, so what do we have? We're going to set up the exact same way we did before. The difference is my reference angle is my variable, my x. So there's my angle. So that makes that one what? That's right, the opposite. And this one is the hypotenuse. What trig? Remember, the great chief Sokotoa is guiding us at all times. Well, that's sine. So we're going to say this. Sine of x is the opposite over the hypotenuse. Now, I don't want you to get 18 divided by 30 and get a decimal. We can do this easier. I want to get x. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do that second sign, that inverse, and I'm going to go 18 divided by 30. Okay, now on the TIs, it's great because you can see it just like that, but even the other ones. So I would go second sine 18 divided by 30, close my parenthesis, and get my answer. For this one, I'm going to say 36 point. I'm going to say 87. We're going to use 2 degrees or 2 decimal places on this one. So 36.87 degrees. All right, but on this one, let's see. What would we do here? So I'm going to clear that out. The first thing I want to do is 18 divided by 30, and actually get a decimal, and then do second sine of that. Okay, so you do actually want to type in the division there. You just don't need to write it down. I don't need to see that that's 0.6. Just get me the final answer. Okay, all right. So this one here, next one, a couple examples to do. There's my reference. This would be my opposite, so that's adjacent and hypotenuse, which gets you which trig? That's right, cosine. So we're going to say cosine of x is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. And again, since we're always finding the angle, we're always doing that second cosine to the -1. It's called the inverse trig. One of my stuff disappeared there. Okay, so that's what I'm typing in. Again, I'm going to use this one. 9 divided by 15. Hit enter. Second, what was this cosine, right? Yeah. Oops, I goofed up. You guys see what I did wrong? I don't know if you do or not. But if you look up here at the top, I did not do the inverse, okay? So clear that out. So let's try that again. 9 divided by 15, enter. Go up to trig, second, and then cosine, and then we're good at 53.13. And it is degrees. Get in the habit of writing that so we know the difference between these problems and the previous ones. All right, I think that, yep, this is the last one. So why don't you pause this and try it yourself. See if you get the idea. Okay, so what do we have? Well, this would be my opposite. This would be my adjacent. Thinking of Sokotoa. Opposite, adjacent, tangent. That's TOA. So this would be tan of x is the opposite over the adjacent. So on the calculator, we're going to try to type that. Not try to type it. We're going to type it. So we're going to go 3 divided by 8. Hit enter. Trig second tan. And we should get 20.5. We'll round that 6. All right. So I am, for this one, giving you a worksheet to try, plus the answers, so you can check to see how you did. I do want to do a couple of the examples so you understand what we're doing here. So for the first 8 here, we want to find the angle measure. We want to find the B. And again, to do that, we're typing this in our calculator. Okay, so that's what it's asking you to do. So I'm going to go, I don't need the 0 there, but 0.4848 trig, second sine, and there's our answer of 28.999. Notice this says to the nearest degree, and they are pretty accurate to the degree, so we're going to just say, what was that, 28.99, so 29 degrees. So you can do that just to the nearest degree. The other problems, I changed them slightly. As you can see, I crossed it off in the one, you'll see that as well. It says to the nearest tenth. So what do I mean by that? Well, here's my angle I want to find. So Looking across, that's opposite. Opposite, this is adjacent, so that makes that tangent. So if you want to use a question mark, you can. Equals the opposite over the adjacent. So to find question mark, we're going to go second tan. And I don't need to see this writing. I'm just showing you what you're doing on your calculator. So 27 divided by 38. And then we are doing the inverse of tangent. So 35.39. Now it says the nearest tenth, so I'm going to write that as 35.4 degrees. So that angle is 35.4 degrees. So that's what I want you to do on those worksheets, on those problems. Okay? All right, as usual, if you have any trouble or problems, contact me. I'll walk you through it. We could even meet on a Google Meet if we need to. I'll probably, during some of the sessions, even talk about some of this stuff. Okay? All right, take care.